Testing, testing, testing. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Testing, testing, testing. Check. One, two. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Good morning, everybody. I hope you're all doing fine this morning. I'm not so fine. I was unsummarily summoned from my sleep. I don't know why, but my phone kept ringing and ringing and ringing. It just wouldn't stop. And it started about what? A little before 7? No, a little before 8. Now, I went to bed this morning about minutes to 5. I'm sure if I see my face, he still got sleep in it. Right? So, you know, I'm extremely sleepy. I was up trying to download some music, get my music library up to date, because as you know, I'm not only a talk show host, a radio presenter, I'm also a DJ and an entertainer. And that's how I make my money. And for the past couple of years, that has been quite difficult, trying to balance my personal life, my career, and politics. And so, seeing that the politics is in a different stage right now, I was hoping to focus some attention on my career, how I pay my bills, how I make money. So, yes, I was up late last night doing that. And I was raked out of my sleep because of politics. I had in mind to do a show today, but the show that I had in mind to do today would just be, a catching up, a chit chat to see, the lay of the land, what's going on, touch base with a few people who have been saying, we need to do what you call it, a program, because I didn't intend to stop doing what I'm doing when it comes to this, but I was hoping to at least get some time to focus on some other things, and yeah. And so the conversation I want us to have this morning, and Annette Morton says, EKU was home for 2 years, so don't complain. Obviously, you're not listening. So as I was saying, because I thought it was something important, I really didn't think that I would have to come here to speak on what I'm about to speak on this morning. I have been observing for quite some time the transition from the former administration to this one. I have been taking into account all different sides of the conversation. And I myself, would chime in from time to time, sometimes playfully, sometimes in a sarcastic way, making my predictions, my pronouncements, just to be a part of the conversation and to get feedback. Because, you see, when some people do things, they probably have their own modus operandi as to why they do things. I, on the other hand, am a different kettle of fish. I do everything with a purpose in mind. I do everything with some underlying purpose. Is either to garner information, to see how the lay of the land going, and to understand how is it people think. Right? So when I made the post about the chief of staff at JNF, there was a big conversation on my Facebook page. And I sat there and I watched at the various comments. Some were in agreement, some were in a disagreement. And those who were in disagreement, they were disagreeing for disagreeing's sake. Because the argument that they were putting forth had nothing to do with what I said. And this clearly showed me that there are some people in St. Kitts and Nevis who don't take the time to read, don't take the time to analyze things, internalize things before they speak. And that to me is one of our biggest problems. Comprehension and understanding. And looking at things from a logical standpoint, void of emotions, and just have an analytical mind towards something. Hold on there. Right. And so to have an analytical mind towards certain things, void of emotions. Now, when I said I would like to see the chief being vacated, at no time did I suggest that you should just get rid of the guy. No. For those of you who don't pay attention to the nitty-gritty and are not involved in certain things, perhaps when you see people trying to have conversations, you should shy away from commenting, especially if your comment has nothing to do with what is being purported or what is being said. The chief of staff, look it up. I mean, Google and the internet is so reachable. It's in your hand, your smartphone. There are different tiers and different levels to how things work in this world. There are the people who do the heavy lifting, and they're the people who do the administration. They quarterback the thing. They call the shots, they put things in place, they organize. But not everybody could organize. Some people are more doers than they are planners. They are planners and they are coordinators. There are some people who are so damn good at it. Mind you, they can do the lifting, but their managerial and organizing skills, their leadership, their ability to motivate people to get the job done. They have that knack to move people and get people motivated to get the job done. And that is what we need in our system right now. People who can organize, who can lead, who can motivate, who can get people moving and get things done. So that is what I meant. The JNF, all of us have been to the JNF and see exactly what goes on up there. Now, this is not a knock on the personnel, but sometimes in every company you have to take a look at the leadership, the administration of said company or said institution. Sometimes you have to look at the workers. Now, barring that there's some workers who just damn worthless. But at the end of the day, the way in which people perform, it's sometimes a reflection of how the institution or company is being administered. So again, when you see people are trying to have an intelligent conversation and you have no idea as to what the conversation is, shut your ass and go sit down. It's that simple. When you look at the morale of people in the workforce, it's a reflection of how the administration is being run. When you treat people right, treat people with dignity, when there is fairness in the administration, people will show up to work. And that has been killing us in St. Kitts and Nevis for the longest while. Because you have some people in positions of leadership and they're just goddamn tyrants and they are cruel. They don't motivate. They don't instill any kind of vibes in people to want to come out to work in the job that they're given to do. Now, some may say, you're getting paid, so just show up to work. No, we are human beings and the environment have to be conducive in order for us to produce. It has been shown in statistics. When workers are treated fairly, when workers are treated in the right way, they produce more. Slavery had an entirely different concept. Instill fear, brutalize these bastards, and you will get. Well, you don't think slavery would have made 3 or 4 times more if they had just treated people properly? And this is what I've been saying to the people who get exalted and appointed to very lofty positions of authority. Just do a professional job. It's not that difficult and it's not that hard. It's like we have to do Jenkins' leadership course for all the people them who are going to be exalted to a position of authority. It can make all them now have to go to Jenkins' leadership course to get some proper training in leadership in order for them to understand what the hell their role is as leaders. Because some people don't seem to know. They get into a position of power and a position of leadership and automatically they feel as though they own people. And they have that right to do with people as they please. Well, history has shown that when you come to the table with that kind of attitude and that kind of mentality, what you have is revolting. What you have is revolutions. What you have is uprisings. Well, how people can understand that? How people can seem to understand that? It is beyond me. Now, when I got up, I saw a lot of screenshots and about what was being said specifically in solid waste. Outside of that, I also got voice notes about the comrades being disgruntled about certain things. Now, I'm going to speak frankly to the comrades, right? And I've always tried to speak as frank and as candid as I possibly can to St. Kitts and Nevis people, because they are my people. And I love them dearly. But we have got a long way to go when it comes to how we conduct ourselves. And when I say how we conduct ourselves, because I'll give another example. And this was happening on social media recently, where there was a live broadcast on social media by a very popular church, Halal Praise. And one of the individuals who was speaking at the time, Fonella, made an announcement inside of the church that envelopes will be passing around and they're asking for a pledge of $500 because Pastor Boland's birthday is coming up. No. On first listen, that would trigger anybody. I'll admit that. It would trigger anybody because you're like, what? $500? No, $500 sounds like a lot, given the times that we are in. All right? But let's think about it from a logical standpoint. Barring the emotions, barring the fact that you don't go to church, barring the fact that you don't believe in church, barring the fact that you don't like Berlin personally, barring the fact that you don't like anything to do with religion personally. Let's bar those things. We spend $500 on people who we consider to be our loved ones, who we consider to be our friends. Easily, without even knowing it. So in that isolated position, in that isolated situation, you heard $500 and automatically, you go into a hysteria. $500! Not stopping to think that one, I'm not a part of that church. I ain't got to pay the $500. Keep it moving. Two, you don't know the relationship of those parishioners. You don't know how much Boland helps his parishioners. You just don't know. You don't know the type of relationship that they share. Somebody who asked me about the situation, I gave two examples. And I say, one example, I remember one time I was invited to the church to give a presentation, and I did. And I stayed for the sermon. And Boland preached. He preached. He was using his laptop to preach. And when he was finished preaching, he closed down the laptop. He took it up. Before he took it up, he said, well, he understands that the engineer, the sound engineer for the church, who does the engineering work, make sure the sounds come through, the mics working, speakers working and everything, needed a laptop. Boland took the laptop that he was preaching with, walked to the back of the church at the end of the sermon, and gave it to the sound engineer. You know how much a Mac laptop costs? No less than $2,000 for a good, decent MacBook. I saw that for myself. So I could only imagine when I'm not there how he would treat his parishioners. And I was like, okay. So we don't know the relationship that these people have in their church. But guess what? It's social media. And in social media world, everybody gotta say. It don't matter. We just have to have a say. On social media, it's a very dangerous place. And if you're on social media, you have to understand that everybody gets clowned. Because it's a big joke to some people. No. Who more than me know about trolling and being sarcastic and being joking? Who more than me? But you see, there is a flip side to everything. All right? Now, we don't seem to understand that social media is far reaching. And everybody and their grandmother on that issue for those couple of days took to their social media to clown and to troll and to have all kind of things to say about the church. No. Hear me. I don't go church. I stopped going to church a long time ago because I see the church for what it really is. But that's my personal position. But that's not to say that if a church comes to me and asks me for assistance, I am not going to do it. Because at the end of the day, the people inside of the church are still the people outside of the church. And so, if a church comes to me and say, well, EK, we want to do such and such and such and such, can you assist? Sure. No problem. I may have my personal gripes with the church, but we don't know what church do for some people. Just like how there's some people who get up religiously and listen to Sugar Bowl in the morning and get something from that. Listen to me in the afternoon and get something from that. And there are some people who don't listen to me because what? They don't like me. They had a bad experience with me. They had a bad experience with Bowl. So they shy away from that. But you can't tell people to shy away from something just because you had a bad experience with it. Their experience might be totally different. So at the end of the day, you got to respect that position. I saw the video and I was like, okay. Boom. I kept it moving. Hey, my business. We all walk around here judging people. And then when the finger gets pointed back at us now, we have a problem. So we bully and we troll people on social media. And then when they lash out now, everybody start to bawl now. The church people they mustn't behave, sir. The church people mustn't curse people. Somebody to curse people every goddamn day and chance all you get. I see people who believe in gangsterism. You know what is gangsterism? I see people who practice gangsterism, who believe in the bullshit, who believe in the music that push that bullshit. Out here playing victim and say, oh, we need an apology because she cursed us. Boy, I've been cussing the goddamn woman for days, trolling the woman for days. I don't know how that affected her and her mental. And then I see people making excuses. Oh, once you're on this platform, you got to realize that you got to get... But they're just some things that you just leave alone. And if you're going to do this shit to people, you got to expect a backlash. So she ain't human. So just because she's a Christian, she ain't human. And all of a sudden I see people start to quote all kind of goddamn scriptures. Some I don't even know when last I set foot in a church. But all you know how Christian people are supposed to behave. Some I don't even practice the same damn teachings in our personal life. Because I just see all you. And I'm like, watch a bunch of goddamn hypocrites. And this is coming from somebody who don't go to church. And it ain't even just about defending the church. It's just some things that you just buy Lego. We as people who got a platform on social media got to understand that we got a kind of power that we have to know how to wield it. Sometimes I don't well want to troll certain things, but then when I stop and think and say, okay, who am I really trolling? How is this going to affect them? Can the person take it? Before I make certain posts, because I make a post, boy, every kind of thing. I mean, everything that come to my mind, everything that come to my phone. Who like heckle and troll mommy? But it got certain things that sometimes you could just let slide. I just see somebody talk some real shit on this book. And not for nothing, I would never apologize. But here you come, demanding an apology. Because she said God must cuss her your ass because I wouldn't keep her out of the church. Okay. Even me people that said, touch not the Lord anointed EK, because I made to go up on the radio. I made to talk about some of them pastors there. And if they choose to fire back at me, all is fear is love and war. But are you troll the people them for days? Come up with all kind of memes and all kind of this and all kind of that. And then when she come and she use she same bard and Bible to curse all your ass, somebody get frightened now. And all of a sudden I demand apology. If I was she, I would have never apologized to none of you. Because all is fear on this book. Some Facebook youngsters. I mean, understand? But anyway, that's just one example. Right? Getting back to the substantive matter. I have seen for days where some of the comrades them are expressing their disapproval with certain people being in position. For instance, when the acting registrar of the court was announced, some comrades lost their shit. Because you see, some people can't think beyond their nose. And this problem is a multifaceted problem. Remember Leon Natta Nelson? Winning Nelson of Natta Nation? Remember him? Remember under a team unity government, because this young man dared to announce his political affiliation and that he just might be a candidate in an upcoming election, bureaucracy went to work. Now, if you stood behind Natta Nelson while he was going through his case, if you stood behind Larry Vaughan while he was going through his situation with this team unity government, you will understand that the intricacies of this matter ain't just about as far as your nose. Because Natta won his case, a lot of people were able to now say that the Constitution affords them the right of association. So where in time some people hid their political affiliation, after that case, more and more people finally understood that I have a right. But sometimes not every right that you have should be just, what's the word I'm looking for? It shouldn't just be used as a weapon against other people. And you have to understand that you're living in a world with other people. And where your right ends is where somebody else begins. No, You have the right of association. It's a right. But you have to understand that you also have a professional life. And you have to understand that you're dealing with human beings. Every human being got their own personal thing that they're attached to. Some are Christians, some are not. Some like calypso, some don't. Some like jazz, some don't. Some go to Pentecostal, some go to Church of God. Some are Labour, some are PAM. Some are PLP. No. Your affiliation to a particular organization may be linear. It's just a straight line. Not knowing that the organization that you're affiliated with got other things going on in the background, doing other things to other people. So the registrar of the court loves Timothy Harris. She's a big PLP. She has been seen and doing PLP things. And so she was appointed acting, mind you, not official, acting registrar, because the present registrar of the court was sent on leave. And some people are losing their shit. Nobody ever stopped to think, okay, this could be a scenario. Might not be true, but it could be a scenario. The present registrar gone home. We need a registrar because the day-to-day function still have to happen. You have to put somebody in the position who has been there before, who understands what the job entails, barring their affiliation. No, nobody more than me understands what it is to be set aside because of your affiliations and because of things that you do publicly. I endured that for 7 years. Well, more than 7 years, because it started with CCM in 2013. Because I dare to say I'm a Labour man. Because I dare to disagree with the CCM government. They in turn have the right to disagree with me as a DJ in my professional career. No. They did not take up my file and say, well, look, EK is this, EK is that. Boy, we just might have to use him because this is what he brings to the table. No, the file wasn't even open. The mere fact that I disagreed with them politically was enough for them to say, we don't want to have anything to do with EK. They're well within their rights. Just like how I was well within my rights to disagree with them publicly. We got to understand that when we make certain decisions, it comes with consequences. Because like I said, where my rights end is where somebody else's starts. It is what it is. Whether it's right or it's wrong, it is what it is. So now, she's in that position, acting registrar. She's a Timothy's border. It is a sensitive position. Let the lady go in there for 2-3 months and see how she operates. And if there is just cause to cut ties with her on a professional level, then the government will have to do that. Or let her go in there, act. Look, he got so much people in the civil service acting for years. And then boom, the government come and say, okay, fine, thank you so much for your time. This person is going to be the official holder of the position. People, it's only been 1 month. 1 month. Everybody got their own different personal reasons as to why the hell they voted. Everybody have it. Their own personal reasons as to why they voted. But let me tell you something. If the government sits down and calls in all 14,000 people who voted for Labour and grant all 14,000 people their wish, you know what would happen to this country? It will be in total chaos. Because everybody got their own personal gripe. And sometimes your own personal gripe, if you are granted your wish, will plunge the entire world into one shit show. I mean, people ever stop to think and wonder why it is God don't grant every single individual what it is they prefer on a daily basis? I have had this conversation with myself on a number of occasions. And when I say with myself, thought processes. There was a movie, I think it was Bruce Almighty, where this guy thought that being God was easy. His thing was grant every single, but he organized all the prayers that he was hearing into emails. And he selected all the emails, all couple billion of them, and typed yes for every single prayer. And guess what? The entire world plunged into chaos. Because it's not everything that people want on a personal level can be granted. Because granting one individual or even 10 individuals their personal wish will mess up 20 other people's lives. I mean, people don't stop and think. When you look at all the movies that happen on Netflix, and this is what I have observed, every single movie that I have looked at on Netflix, there is a situation that needs to be rectified. And everybody has got their own personal way of trying to do it or get the situation rectified. Somebody comes and said, look, we are going down path B and we are going to do A, B, C, and D. And there's somebody within that group who's not going to say anything. But they have their own personal plan as to how to get it done. And guess what? When everybody goes off on their own tangent trying to get the same thing accomplished, guess what? Absolute chaos. And I'm screaming to myself, why are you just don't communicate? If you have a different of approach, why didn't you communicate it at the beginning when there was a debate? When there was consultation, you said nothing. And now that the plan that everybody agreed to is in motion, you over here doing your own goddamn thing. And what you're doing over here is defeating what is being done and agreed to. And that leads to chaos. It leads to setbacks. It leads to a lot of other things. So hear me again. If the present government invites all 14,000 people who voted for them and gives each and every single one of them their personal wishes as to why they voted for Labour, St. Kitts would be in total chaos. Because everybody got their own personal shit going on, including me. Because I'm not going to absolve myself from this bullshit. I know what I voted for. It might be different to the other 14,000 people who voted. And if I get my wish, guess what? Somebody else over there gonna get a one. Because it's gonna be chaos. So what I do, I sit and I wait. If it doesn't affect me personally, immediately, I can let it go. You know the amount of people walk up to me and tell me about, Ike, you're supposed to get this and you're supposed to get that because you work nice. That may be so. That may be so. But what should the government do? Stop everything. Stop everything. Nobody do nothing else. Ike, what it is that you want. Now, if the government stops everything to come and find out what it is Ike want, or Curtis want, or Big Steve want, or anybody else for that matter want, what happens to the rest of St. Kitts and Nevis? I mean, this is the selfishness and the self-entitlement of some people. It's like it knows no bounds. The world doesn't revolve around you. What happened to patience? It is because of the former administration's attitude and approach to governance why our country was in chaos for 7 years, why so many people were hurting for 7 years. And we were out there looking on and watching everybody's on there prospering. But not we. We went the length and breadth of this country trying to convince people who weren't comrades that, hey, Dr. Drew is a better prime minister than Timothy. Dr. Hanley would make a better minister of education than John L. Powell. That Marsha Henderson is a better representative than John L. Powell could ever dreamed of being. Or Nubian. That Samuel Duggins is a way better choice than Lindsey Grant. And the other guy for PLP, I can't remember his name. That Dr. Douglas should go back into government because they know how to govern. That Conway Maynard is better than Aquila. That is what we campaign on, that these people can do a better job of governing a country than who we had there. Well, my God, you ain't believing what the hell you were preaching? You ain't believing what the hell you were preaching? We were shouting labor, 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 labor is better, better with labor. So when the hell you're going to allow them to be better? Hear me. And Tanya, you repeated what I said, but I hope you understand where is it I'm coming from. I have my own personal things that I would like to see done. I have my own personal feelings. But there is lots more things going on around me than just my personal emotions and feelings. I'm not going to sit here high and mighty and say that, oh, I agree with everything. Oh, mainstream. No, I have those thoughts. But who would know unless I say? Because I'm human just like everybody else. But if I say I trust the Labour candidates. I trust the A team to do a better job of governing this country than who we had there. I must also have the patience and the wherewithal to trust in their judgment, to trust in their leadership to do better. Everybody's so yangy. They want this, they want that, they want this, they want that, they want that, they want. I mean, come on. And I did not vote for this, and I did not. I mean, come on. Some of the people who I see out here making long, illustrious posts about, I don't agree with this and I don't agree with that. When the heat was on, me no see them make no long posts. When the heat was on, me no see none of them. It's only when Labour start to pick up steam is when you see some of them come out. Because before the firing of the 6, some of them don't make no long posts. You couldn't see nor hear none of them. When Labour lost in 2015, a lot of them disappear. Who now went where? Went into hiding. And now all of a sudden, this is not what I voted for. This is this and this is that. I do. What? We endured 7 years. 7 long years of a garbage set of people. Say Ike say so. Because of shit some of them in a do. Masking and parading around under some disguise that everything was good. Everything was being well run and rare. And we campaign and say the A team is better. So give the A team some room to show you that they're better now. Give the A team some room to show that they're not just cushy paper, wash your foot and come people now. Let them go in there and assess the ministries and see what really going on inside there now. And who need to come out and who need to go in now. And in every decision that they make, you're going to like. So you're out here, I like that decision there, I like that decision there. Oh, me not like that one there, then I'm vote for. Making yourself a goddamn puppy show. Okay, so you don't like the decision. How about, okay, I don't like it, but I want to see where it's going to go. And you have some patience. And you chill back. And you watch it play out. Because how could you convict somebody of something if they didn't do it yet? How could you call somebody a murderer if they didn't do it yet? Now, we all know that some of these people, because they're going to go to the flip side of the coin now, because me going to sit here and defend some of these people who in their job still as if they ain't do nothing, you know. Because we all know the shit what they were doing in there too, you know. But guess what? They were following directives. We all sat and saw the PS get up and say that when it came to the police appointment, there were no policies on it. Now, two things. As I've always said before, if you're in a position of leadership, do a professional job, even if it costs you your job. You must be strong enough to stand in your resolve and to deal with any consequences that comes with it, because life comes with consequences. I don't agree with CCM. CCM getting in power, then I want to give me the working culture armor. Okay, EK, go somewhere else. That is the consequence of your choice. But some of us want to make choices and don't bear no consequences. Well, life no works so. So I said that to say this. If the PS did realize that there is no policy, there is no guidelines on this behavior, he should have had the backbone enough to stand up and say, no, Mr. Prime Minister, that cannot happen. But that did not happen. He went along with it. Because we all know the kind of person that Timothy Harris be. We all have experienced it at some point in time. And everybody's job is on the line. And if you don't do what he want, your ass is grass. No, we don't know what the PS got going on. We don't know if he got children in school, if he got his mortgage still to pay, if he got disability. We don't know. So let's give him the benefit of the doubt. Now there's a new prime minister standing up next to him. And he now comes out and say, this is what the last prime minister did. No. The actions of Timothy Harris put a mental strain on enough police officers. So now it's time to correct that. You think it's going to be corrected in a day? You think Dr. Joseph just to say, oh, well, since Timothy didn't get up and give you your appointment, I can just give you just so. No. Take up the file, look through the file, go back through the file, and see if the file got some merit. And then you make a decision. You don't walk in your office and say, Doc, my side hurt me. And he just give medication just so? No. Life don't work that way. Why the hell somebody behaving so? You walk in and say, Doc, my side hurt me. He got to examine you. He got to ask you a couple of questions. What medication you on? What you been a do? What underlying conditions you got? When I touch you, so he still a hurt you. When I touch you, so he still a hurt you. When I touch up, so he still a hurt you. And based on what he finds after his examination, he can then make a determination as to how to go about fixing the problem. Just like how you can't just, teacher, John hit me. And before the teacher could find out what transpired between John and Sally, he go and he broke in John's ass. Only for the rest of the class to shout out, no, teacher, Sally hit him first. Actions without proper investigation, actions without properly assessing the situation is futile. It leads to chaos. So exhibit a little bit of patience. I mean, we know these things. So why is it we out here behaving this way? And feeding into the garbage people and you send this long thing, this person this, and when this is what we vote. I mean, come on. The bad apples will always weed out themselves. Look, Timothy Harris only last 7 years, you know. He only last 7 years. And the people who share his mentality, they're going to find themselves on the outside just as fast. It may not be 7, it may be 8, it may be 9. Because they're going to indict themselves eventually. You can't just get up and fire somebody just so, if you don't have the evidence. And you can't have evidence based on hearsay. I just showed all you. Sally went up and tell the teacher John hit her. But she not tell the teacher that she hit John first. I know how workers could be, because I know Sinki's people here. And I know somebody that work in the civil service here. Or you want to reach late, or you had a manners, or you ain't got a proper etiquette, or you ain't got a proper work ethic, or you want to go lunch, even though you reach work late, you want to go lunch midday, you want to come back from lunch late, and as soon as 4 o'clock come, you want to go to the door. And if somebody come and discipline you, oh, the person not like me. Oh, the person got our way up. Yeah, they said that. So what is an incoming government supposed to do? Behave like Timothy Harris and just cut and slash, cut and slash, cut and slash? They have to assess the situation, assess the feel. I mean, come on, people. Don't get me wrong. I am a little frustrated as well. I would like to see certain things done immediately, but me not in there. Me only know what I go on by face value. So me go wait, me go be patient. Just like everybody else. So I'm not going to sit here and pretend as though I don't have those same emotions, you know. I have them. But it's what you do with them. It's how you conduct yourself. That is the crux of the matter. Because I wasn't going to do a live about this here. I was just going to sit around, watch and wait. Just like how I did with Team Unity. When Team Unity came in 2015, I made an announcement on the radio. I'm going to give them their space to see how they're going to operate. Me ain't going to say nothing. And I went back to playing music and Papi showing myself on the radio. And then when I realized what they were about, I came out firing on all cylinders. Because they had enough time. Remember Mr. Politis used to call in and say, oh, give government a chance. Government just gone in. 2 years into the administration, and here talk about give the government a chance. They just gone in. 2 years. 2 years turned into 5. They still do the same shit. And nobody must say nothing. Labor only in there for a month. 1 month. But you see, a lot of us don't practice certain things in our personal lives. And so, we don't understand. Any situation that you walk into with your ears and your eyes and your nose open. Your mouth closed. Otherwise, fly gonna get in your mouth. Either fly gonna get in your mouth or shit gonna come out. Any situation that you go into to observe, to understand. That is why I say we need some leadership course for all these people who are going to be appointed to leadership position. Because you can't just go into a position and start to slash and burn. You have to assess the field. You have to know the people who you are working with. You have to observe them. And then you start to move your pieces around to get what you need to do done. Don't just walk into a room and you hear somebody shout out, oh, how you over there do such and such and such, how you this and how you that. Be mindful of those people. Because ain't everybody to tell the truth. Thank you, Simone. Nobody stopped to think about the mess with the last government left in there. It's all well and good when we outside looking in. And we seeing this shit. But then when we get inside, we don't understand how deep this shit be. I'm not making any excuses for them because watch here. I gave the government till the end of this year to show me exactly where it is they're going. Just like I did the last administration. I am giving this government till the end of this year to show me where it is they're going. Before me could start to criticize. And now you know. Me could criticize. And it's going to be a consistent criticism. Because when I push for betterment in the police force, when I push for betterment in healthcare, when I push for betterment in administration, it ain't had nothing to do with who in power. Right is right, wrong is wrong. Some are you right and right, there be blood, depending on who doing it. When mine's in blood. So I'm giving the government some time for them to assess, because I understand how administration work. I've been trying to teach all you for the longest while. Let them assess the field and see what it is they're working with. Who need to come out and who need to go out. You can't just fire people just so. Otherwise, you're going to cost the government money. I know how much cases the government lose and how much money they have to pay. Because you can't just go out here just willy-nilly firing people without a proper reason, you know. And you can't go on here, say. So if they got the mentality to continue to mess with people on the job, guess what? The minister's going to acquire a nice little file of their performance. And when the time is right, the minister going to come and say, well, thank you for your time. I want you to relieve you of your position. And when they start to say, oh, you can't do that to me, you just open the file and say, well, look here. And such a date, boom, 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 boom. You have a choice to make. You either go to hell away quietly, or we make this thing public. And then let the public decide your faith. Some people's file may be acquired sooner than others. The people going to weed out themselves, you know. That's why they seem to understand, you know. So the new acting registrar, she better go in there and do a professional job. If she wants to keep that job. Or if she wants to be appointed to registrar. Whether she loved Timothy Harris or she loved Jesus. Go in there and do a professional job. It is that simple. Have I not said this to the people who will be appointed? I went to a party and Mr. Natter, who is now the cabinet secretary, him and I, very good, very cordial. The respect that I have for this man is, yo, you can't even begin to understand. Consummate professional. And we met at a party. Congratulations on your position, sir. Do a good job. And you know what the cabinet secretary said to me? He said, Ike, you know me. I am going to do what the job requires me to do. And if there ever is an occasion that I can't stand on my resolve I will gracefully bow out. That is assurance. The same thing with God. Mr. AG, congratulations on your position. Do a good job. EK, you know me, you know. I gonna do what the job requires. And if I can't do it, I'm gonna say I can't do it. These are the type of people that we need in positions who understand the assignment. And the people who forfeited their professionalism and their integrity to carry out Timothy Harris' agenda, they will fall by the wayside eventually. So comrades, calm down. Like Doggy used to say, simmer down, simmer down, simmer down. Show your love. Show your confidence in your A team. Give them the space to make decisions. That's why we elect them for. To be better. I don't think I can say any more. He who have ears to hear, let him hear. Just like you again, because I don't want to seem inhumane and disconnected. Me Ike got me own personal emotions and feelings and gripes going on inside of me. But the difference is I manage my emotions and manage my feelings based on what is the reality. I take a lot of things into consideration first before I allow my emotions and my feelings and my personal vendettas to manifest. Because if I don't say it, nobody knows. Stop puppy show yourself. Take time. Is that okay with you guys? Take time. Now let me go in the comment section and see what's going on in here, because I wasn't paying attention to the comment section. If anybody disagrees with my position, I'm open to have a conversation with you in a respectful manner. And when you're going to put forward your position, make sure it comes from a place of logic. Make sure you have just even a little bit of facts to back up your position. Don't let it come from a place of emotions. Okay? Good. So let me go in the comment section. Ms. Brown says, give the government time because I guarantee most of these political appointees will be gone by the ending of 2023, 2024. Yeah. Okay. Ms. Brown also says, EK, I think that people who making noise about certain people still there ain't understand how Timo appointed them. Some of them came in the government past 45 years and were placed on contracts. So therefore, maybe the government letting them work out their contract as well. So they need to understand how some of the government appointees were appointed. And that's a point. Because when you look at the contract that Len Harris got as CEO of Development Bank, even if the man dead, the man still a get pay. Who understand that there? Are you take time to read Len contract? The contract the ironclad. I mean, who company would give out a contract like that? So it goes to show you that somebody had a hand in that. Somebody, I can't tell me differently. And it was a contract to protect him. Now, why would you need a contract of that nature? Ask yourself these questions. And so, Gat being a good lawyer, whether he's a PAM or a labor, and I see somebody abuse Gat, I make Gat mother. I mean, I know Gat all the time, you know, bang and go, bang, 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 because we the same age. But his mother and big labor. And somebody out there abuse Gat. Oh, Gat, the father, and something. Somebody close friend of Pam. What the hell are you to be talking about sometimes? If I don't agree with his father, disagree with his father. But this is a big man with his own thought processes. My father got his processes, I got mine. My mother is a Pam. Me and a Pam. No time. As a labor. So because my mother is a Pam and I is a labor. What? Labor people not supposed to trust me. Cause what? I don't care about labor business to my mother. Somebody thinking it's so goddamn shallow. It's a wonder how I drone in your ignorance. Look at the contracts. These people got some serious contracts here. Some serious money here. You now have to go and navigate around those contracts because it's a contract. And if you want to opt out of it, you still gonna get the money. You still gonna get the money. But here what? Let you keep the job. Let you work out your contract. And if over the period of time you're working out your contract, you publish yourself, you will be fired. But you see, somebody never even want a damn lemonade stand. So I don't know how nothing work. And now you want to be making the most noise. And even though some of your own businesses, and I wonder why some of your business is not that well failure because I don't understand business. Some of my negotiation skills dark. I don't know how to express yourself. I don't think deeper. And that's why some of you are failing in your personal life. Because everything is a nyingy before you stop. Look, listen, assess, and then you talk. Calm down. I say you trust all your labor leaders. Trust them that they know what the hell they're doing. Ain't everything I gonna agree with. Because I don't know the intricacies of what the decision was. I ain't know. Something that even me know. People call me and ask me, Ike, how come this? And Ike, how come that? Me know in the government. Watch. While I out here batting no shit, right? He had people who were working close. When I tell you close, arm's length next to these different candidates, you know? Planning their schedules, getting their information together, prepping their speeches, doing this and doing that. Them people there were busy doing a job. They had their job to do, and me and Curtis had we want to do. what is for me will be for me. Whether he come today or tomorrow. Some of us need to calm down. I would personally like if the government buy me a boat. And not even the government. I would like if Labour buy me a boat and a new sound system. And give me a next piece of land. But how that sound to are you? I mean, I walk no way. So I can't go buy me one damn boat. I can't take a loan and go look me one sound system. I can't continue to hustle when I hustle who buy a next piece of land myself. Instead of out you bitter. Buy me don't talk so long. Me don't work so hard. Me want the government give me this. Me want the government give me that. A spoiled child. That's how some of you sounding right now. Done with it. You don't sound good. And you don't look good neither. You have been able to pick up your phone and call a candidate. Walk into a candidate thing, but hey, you walk in TDC and me and your friend. Me and you just in a talk on the road. Or you could just walk in TDC and walk straight into your office. Somebody really be thinking and talking sometimes. Everybody want help right now. A lady called me, she said, Ike, if you could get a message to Dr. Joe, please to tell him slow down. I see him taking meetings one after the other. One in, one out, one in, one out. He go eat. I said, darling, our doctor he be. And he no better than me. He must know his own body. But you see, Dr. Joe got a heart like mine's. We just want to help nigga. We just want to walk nice and help nigga. Even if sometimes them nigga turn out to be damn ungrateful. We just want to walk or help nigga. Sometimes I walk me ass to the bone for people. And the one time I can't do something with them, they say me I was. All have we experienced that in life. Everybody got a concern. Somebody pop up and say, Ike, I hope you don't get your meeting with Dr. Dre now. Come see how can the people go meet him. When you going? I said, friend, calm down. I don't need a meeting with the Prime Minister to do what? To say what? I am not in any immediate danger. Don't watch what somebody else get. Stop watch people. Stop watch people pocket. You no bother me, what make you bother you? When me time gonna come. So just because I'm up and down with Dr. Joe during the campaign, he know the Prime Minister, he know in a different job, he know got security protocols, not for his own personal thing, but because as far as he just like Dougie as far as me concerned. Dougie is a man had security guard, one security guard up and down with Dougie, not like Timothy who got 20 of them himself. The very first Wednesday after the election, Dr. Joe walked in the radio station. And the security man there stand up like he wouldn't move. I'm like, bye-bye. Nobody can do Dr. Joe nothing in ya. Okay, but I got my job to do. Because let's suppose something happens and me ain't around. Is me head on the chopping block. So, but bye, nobody can do Dr. Joe nothing. Yeah, you don't know that. You know the future. They're different role. And everybody want to help. Everybody want to talk to Dr. Joe now. Because everybody got a problem. You take time to solve all them problem there. That's the same mentality we had the last government how it was. Because everybody feel like they could have depend on the government to fix all of the problems. And you know you like it. So how come now your government in you want them practice the same garbage? Hmm? Simply means you're a hypocrite. Oh boy. And I sure bet you know that all the meetings that with Dr. Joe take, let's suppose that it takes a little time to help anyone out of them, out of the situation where they went to him with. And they ain't get it done in the time that they want to get it done in. You wanna bet they're gonna hang on them out on the same Dr. Joe? How you think human beings easy? How you think human beings easy? Let somebody who had a meeting with Dr. Joe today, and by Friday, or by even next week, or even next month, the problem ain't get solved yet. Mind you, they got meetings in front of a lot of other people. But nobody seemed to consider that Joe need to eat, he need to sleep, he got his own personal life, and he got 14,000 other people's problems to go and try to solve. And he got to go and talk to this person to get that problem solved, and that person over there to get it. Because we're all interconnected. And I bet me last dollar, if you ain't get started out in the time frame that they think you should get started out, they're going to abuse the same Dr. Joe. Human beings not easy. Human beings not easy. We got a kind of selfishness in our way, a kind of self-entitlement in our way. You would think that them man and man now ain't no church. Because church not teach you them thing there, you know. And people who don't got the most church, nobody more selfish than them. My God. I made me post the other day about the chief of staff. And I've been mean it. But it ain't gonna happen today. It ain't gonna happen tomorrow. It might not even happen next month. Certainly may not happen next year. But I'm trusting that when the Minister of Health does a proper assessment of the ministry, see what the ministry needs and what it don't need, eventually everything would work itself out. Because the hospital really needs some serious administration. You know? It needs leadership. That is what that needs. Leadership. People at the helm who understands leadership. Not people with God complex and I'm in charge now. Do what I say. Nobody can upstage me. No, that ain't leadership. That was Timothy. And his leadership lasted for 7 years. Until it ran out. So everybody time gonna come. It's just a matter of time. I sure somebody thought the last 7 years would have never end. Felt like a lifetime. But nothing lasts forever. So let's chill back. And guess what? The next elections will be in what? We had an election in 22. So 5 years from now, 27? 2027? Sounds about right? 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, yeah. I have to count from my finger. 2027 will be the next general elections. Unless something happens, and we all know what can go wrong, will go wrong. But if after 5 years and you realize that Labour ain't no better than team shit, vote them out. If you realize that after 5 years, Marsha, Conways, Samal, Dougie, Drew, Dr. Hanley, ain't do what they said they been going to do, vote them to us out. Take back your walk. Simple enough. Don't sit down and grumble and say, "Buy me a Labour, you know." Then we do nothing but me a Labour, you know. No. Get somebody else for the work. Just like how Timothy went in there and he said he was going this and he said and he ain't do shit. But help himself and help the people. What to even say country? Take him to our soul too. And if over the course of 5 years and you realize that certain things ain't manifesting as you have a right to speak. But speak from a place of logic. All right. Tell me now. 10:55, 5 minutes left. Unfortunately, I wonder if I could take phone calls. No, I'm gonna take the phone call. I mean, one nice in my head. I don't say what I say. If you don't agree with me, all I got my number. Call me and we go have a conversation. If you ain't understand nothing what I say, call me, let's have a conversation. Because nobody could help you with what I say but me. And that's another thing too, you know. I apologize. That was a business call. Um, so yeah. Um, I was trying to see if I should take some calls, but I'm not gonna do that. I'm gonna end this live here, and I just hope that somewhere, somehow, people will exercise some better judgment. I just hope. I'm not perfect. There's sometimes when I say shit that a lot of people don't agree with. And people tell me that they don't agree with what I'm saying. And that's fine. And that's fine. But I just hope that people will exercise some better judgment. Think. Don't let your emotions and your feelings govern you. They're just feelings and emotions. That's all that they are. The only person who could give them relevance is you. As I tell you before, are you want the government buy me a boat? But how that they gonna look? That they just ups and buy me a boat out or so. Mind you, they might buy somebody as a gift, and but that for them. You can't go around bitter, oh, the government, and me don't so hard. Them things that make no sense. Stop it. Go easy. Are you going back to sleep, you hear? I have a good day. Bless up by yourself.